Hi everyone, James Lawson here, and welcome to the Business Success by Design podcast. Really happy to be here with you today. And on this episode, we're going to talk about Facebook ads. Should you use them? Should you not? When should you use them? Especially if you're just starting your business. So, let's talk about that. Let's go.
Welcome to the Business Success by Design podcast, where you'll learn everything you need to know about building a thriving business. This isn't theory. It's hardcore strategies and tactics designed to help you win. Join us as top business coaches, marketers, and business insiders pull back the curtain on what really works in building the business you want and what's just complete BS. Now, sit back and listen to rockstar host James Lawson, he's the one with a funny accent, and Angela Inzerillo as they go deep, cut through the crap, and get to the core of making your business work for you.
Let's get into it. This is one of those questions that comes up a lot, especially for those of you in coaching and consulting. And we have a very specific take on the when and the where that you might want to start using Facebook ads. But for a lot of coaches, it seems to be their idea that they should just jump into the Facebook ad business and start running Facebook ads in order to drive leads and ultimately drive clients. And there's nothing wrong with Facebook ads. Well, not true. There's a lot of things wrong with Facebook ads, but generally using Facebook ads to drive awareness or using Facebook ads to drive your list building or any of that type of thing, okay, we're totally for it. But as we always tell people, there is doing the right thing at the right time in your business. There's also doing the right thing at the wrong time in your business. I just happen to believe that starting off in your business and then pumping a whole bunch of money into Facebook ads right at the very start, probably not the smartest thing you want to do. Here's why. There's a bunch of considerations that need to be in place when you're thinking about running Facebook ads, if you've never ever done it before. Now, I will tell you that back in the day, we did this. We went through a period of time where we spent, I'm going to say, a fair amount of money. It wasn't tens of thousands of dollars, but it was a fair amount of money. Now, we did that with a very clear objective, which was push people through a process to a lead magnet to get them into our list. We really didn't know an awful lot about what we were doing. Right? So did we get people into the list? Absolutely. Were these people our ideal client? Absolutely not. We just didn't do our due diligence in terms of how we set all this stuff up. So with all that being said, a few things that you want to think about running Facebook ads in the early stage of your business. And it's this. It's one of the things is testing. You got to test this, right? You've got to test your audience. You've got to test your creative. You've got to test your imaging. And that alone can suck up several $100s, if not several $1,000s. So you need to be prepared for that. The second part of this is setting up. Right? You've got to set up your ads manager. So unless you're going to pay someone to come in and actually manage that for you, then you're going to be playing around with this, which is wasting time, right? It's not the easiest thing. It's easier than it was, but it's not the easiest thing for you to get around. So the setup and then the management of that as you run ads and looking up and looking at your CPC, looking at your click-throughs and measuring to see where things are actually working, where they're not, and understanding why that might be the case. The other part of this is knowing what your goal is, right? What is the goal for you as you run your Facebook ads? Is it to drive leads to your list? Is it to drive downloads? What is it going to be? And how does that goal set itself against how much money you actually have to achieve that goal. So there's a lot of stuff when you're doing Facebook ads, and it's why we are very clear that as you start out in coaching or consulting or in professional services, don't spend money on Facebook ads. Here's what we would prefer that you did. We would prefer that you actually activated your network, right? Everyone has a network. We all have a network. Even if we don't think we do, we absolutely do. So, two ways you want to do this is activate your current own network. And within that network, you may find that they're going to find people who have an audience that you want to get in front of. And they, God willing, might be prepared to promote you to that audience. So rather than emptying your bank account and giving it to Facebook, for instance, one of the things that we often tell people is, well, why don't you set up some kind of referral program? Meaning, get into your network, let them know that you have this referral program. We have one, right? I mean, we truly do believe that we're in the business of buying clients. But if I'm going to spend money, I would rather give money to people in my network who refer people back to me than give it to Facebook. Is it maybe a little bit slower? Yeah, maybe, right? Excuse me, but we know the people, right? And those people know us. So generally, typically, usually, when we get that referral back, that referral is usually at least a 5 or a 6. We have the conversation, we get up to an 8 or a 9 or a 10, and then we can move them into a conversion conversation. So as you build and start your business, I know that it can be very tempting to look at what other people are saying and doing relative to Facebook and running Facebook ads. And, people will say, hey, I'm generating, $100,000 a month. That's great. They're probably spending $30,000 to $40,000 a month running Facebook ads. But they didn't start there, right? They didn't start. That's not how they started. They probably started doing exactly what I'm telling you to do. So activate your network first and start to think about how you generate now revenue within that network, people that we already have relationships with. Letting them know, hey, this is what I'm doing. Here's what the business is. Here's who I'm helping. Here's what I'm helping them achieve. Here's the outcome that we're going to get for those types of people. Do you know anyone like that? And if you do, could you create an introduction? Getting yourself out into the market, create some content, start to build your list for sure, but do it organically in the beginning. The way that we built our list when we started our business was going to events, networking, business cards, offering people, a free thing in order to get their name into our list. We were 6-7 years into business before we ran a Facebook ad, and then we stopped doing it because we're like, one, we're not good at it, and two, it's just too much work, right? That being said, there is a place for it. Absolutely. There's if you can find the right people who can do this for you, even better. But I would definitely tell you, as you begin your journey as a coach, as a consultant in professional services, really any kind of small business, using your available network first is probably the really smart thing to do until you're into that grow or scale phase of the business. Then we can move into more like the Facebook ads. Now, if you're a retail place and you want to run some Google ads or for locality, then of course that's something you're going to do, right? You want to build that awareness. But if you're in the businesses we are, like the coaching and consulting, I would leave Facebook ads until you were at least 10, 12, 15,000 a month consistently. And then maybe move into that arena. Then maybe start dabbling a little bit, test the market, see if the things that you're doing already can translate into the Facebook world, right? And actually start to drive traffic. Failing that, use social media channels to drive your traffic without running Facebook ads. We do all the time. We don't run Facebook ads. All right. I don't do any real paid marketing at all. We have a network. We are in local chambers of commerce. We have built up a credibility and an authority by doing live events and seminars and webinars and that type of thing. So, as you start this journey, I would really tell you, think about your network. Activate your current network first. Use them before we start to think about, hey, let's get into the Facebook ad world and start running ads. And even then, what you're going to want to do is just to test small things. Like we'll have clients that will run like maybe spend like $5 a day for a month to test, right? They're not looking for volume, but what that will tell us is something broken somewhere along the flow, the process, the funnel, if you will, just by running $5 a day and doing that for a period of time. So it's not going to break the bank, right? But we shouldn't be spending hundreds of dollars a day on Facebook or thousands of dollars a month on Facebook ads. It's not the smart thing to do. So think about your network, how you might actually get out into that network, activate that network, get into local associations, find people who have an audience that you want to be in front of, and then make the offer to them of doing some training or a live event or a webinar or a workshop of some kind, and start to build up your list that way. But I definitely wouldn't, under any circumstances, would I jump into, hey, I'm just going to do Facebook ads, right? I'm going to run Facebook ads to whatever. Now, there is this thing called lead ads, which is a much cheaper way to build your list, which, yeah, it's kind of okay. You don't get the quality of leads that you would get running a straight Facebook ad campaign. But if you're okay saying, maybe 1 in 5 of the people that come through kind of fit my profile, and I'm okay spending a $2 or $3 to get every one of those people in, then yeah, that's definitely a viable way of doing it. Which is what we did. Right, we ran that. We probably put about 800 or 900 people into our list, of which maybe 250, maybe 300 are people that actually fit our profile, which, it's okay, right? We're in the business of buying clients. That was a very cheap way of getting people into our list. It's a very cheap way of building our list. And then we just segment people out. Who's opening it, who's not. We move people to the side and we work on the people who want to consume the content. So to spend a couple of $1,000s to get 300 names is worth it. Only needs one of those names to turn into a client, and we've already paid for that campaign. So there are considerations. We're not saying absolutely, definitely, no, don't go do that. What we are saying is think about where you are in your business. Don't get pulled into where you see people on Facebook itself talking about how they're making all this money, right? Be aware they are spending a significant amount of dollars running Facebook ad campaigns, and have usually got a team doing it for them. But as you start to make revenue now, that money is in your network. We always say there's at least $100,000 sitting inside your network right now that you don't know about. We just have to make that connection. So that's our take on the whole Facebook ad thing. Hopefully that made sense to you guys. In the meantime, you may be doing some work, you may be marketing, and maybe some of that marketing isn't hitting home. Probably something in your marketing flow needs to be fixed or adjusted, and you're not really quite sure what it might be. So here's what we've done. We actually set up a really fun quiz that will actually walk you through 10 questions. and you can actually go take the quiz, and there's an output. You're going to get a 3-step roadmap that's actually going to walk you through the areas that, based on your answers, tell us this is what you have to go work on or what you need to go focus on. You can go take the quiz. It takes literally 2 minutes to run the quiz, but go do it. You can find it at impactbizllc.com /quiz. And again, 2 minutes. We've created some really nice outputs. It's not just, hey, one piece of paper. There's some real strategy and tactics in there that you can actually go utilize to increase the success of your marketing efforts. So there we are, guys. Listen, thanks so much for tuning in. And yeah, go be successful. And we'll talk to you next week. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Take care.